that
Right.
I can translate it
Exactly.
appropriately. This is very, very interesting. I was reading a lot about it, and I'm not going to say too much, but it's definitely a very different type of book and a very different type of writing from what you're used to. You know, it's not like in time it's different, in terms of the story it's different, as well as, you know, kind of this introspective spiritual view of what is going on in life that kind of makes you focus on that. So.
One of the lines that I've used in marketing it is that you've never before read a novel like this, and which is, you know, perhaps it's a little bit much for me to say,
Yeah.
but I honestly think it's true. And it's the novel has its own spiritual journey in coming to be written, and that's a subject for another discussion. But so there was two spiritual journeys in writing it: mine and how it relates to my journey. And also, the novel has its own, for some reason, it has its own journey that it's on.
Wow. I can see why it took you 12 or plus years.
Right.
Because it's very intricate.
Right.
And I don't know if we're allowed to, but I know that you have another work, or in the workings, that hasn't been publicly presented.
Right. And this is a novel. Well, it's not a novel. It's a collection of pieces that I wrote. I wrote over 25 years a column, off and on, called A Stone's Throw.
Oh.
And this is the best of those columns. And I call it Short Insights and Fiction Flights by Paul Stephen Stone.
Excellent.
And the book's name is How to Train a Rock.
Wow.
Which is one of the pieces in the book. And there's a lot of humor. There's, I think, some insight, and I think some things worth saying.
Is this, does it have like a little bit of a political edge? Is this about certain things in life in general? Or?
There's a section that deals with pieces that I wrote about war, but I wanted to keep it current. In a lot of ways, the things that I wrote about the Iraq War were angry and in the time, because I felt very strongly that we shouldn't have been there. And some of the things that we've done are starting to now come to light. And there are a few pieces in there that relate to that as well. But there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of, there's a section on love, pieces about how my wife and I, we believe we're soulmates, found each other. But I wrote it before we found each other. So it's kind of an interesting piece on that. And it ranges, and it's also a section on where I write about different things related to my children or being a father. So I think it's a very unique book in its own right. So.
It definitely sounds it. Así que el otro libro que él tiene aquí, que no está presentado públicamente, se llama Cómo entrenar una roca. Y básicamente él dice que vino de una columna que él escribía para un periódico, en donde básicamente él tenía diferentes críticas y es un poco humorística. Y en ella tiene comentarios sobre la guerra de Irak, también tiene comentarios sobre sus hijos y las experiencias con sus hijos, y una columna del amor. Entonces es como una colección de historias cortas donde se habla de todo tipo de cosas. Well, that's very interesting, and it will be a pleasure for me to go over, or so it seems, this novel, and then hopefully the next one. And where can people purchase or find out more about these?
Well, there are two ways you can approach it. It's for sale on Amazon, Amazon.com, but also you can go, the book has a website, and it's orsoitseems.info.
Okay.
And if anybody's interested in reading more about me, there's another website called paulstephenstone.com.
Okay. And those hopefully are being presented at the bottom of our screen, so that's why we don't have to spell it for them. So the viewers know where to go for that.
Excellent.
That would be wonderful. So is there any public displays where you will be there, or where the book will be presented at all?
That's a good question. At the moment, nothing comes to mind, so I guess not.
Okay.
I think this was the big one that I've been waiting for.
Oh, excellent. Well, if you ever do, you know that this is like your home, so you're welcome to come back.
Oh.
And if you ever have a presentation where you're going to be book signing or anything like that, please let us know, and we will definitely announce it and be there.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I will.
Thank you very much for coming, Paul.
Well, thank you for having me.
Así que regresamos con más del Señor de Fernandito. Tenemos aquí a Paul Stephen Stone, or so it seems. Regresamos ahora con más música de Diego Scarpelli. We'll be right back.